So why don't we start by taking a few breaths. As I've mentioned, I tend to breathe in through the nose and then exhale back out through the nose. But you need to do what makes you relaxed and centered, calm. Let's talk a little, listen a little, meditate a little, enjoy each other's company. So on that Saturday, May 19th, after our May 15th meditation, I mentioned that there were already Sandra Walter, Meg Benedicte, and Melanie Beckler, who I had quoted in our May 15th New Moon meditation, all had events on Saturday the 19th. All were saying this was an important date. And what I wasn't expecting, what I didn't know ahead of time, is that both Sandra and Melanie refer specifically in their meditations to the human heart grid. And this is sort of what we're going to be talking about today. Sandra spoke of how the feeling of the new earth, these new timelines that we've created, is indeed a heart mechanism. I suppose as opposed to the head mechanism. She said that all of our creations, when we're tuned into this state, have to be of service to all, in alignment with divine love and will. And I don't think she meant have to as in she's telling you to do something, but if you're working out of the heart, this heart mechanism, then naturally, tuned into that state, all your creations will be just in service to all. So let's spend a few minutes connecting our hearts together as a grid. Breathe into your heart as if you're just, you're not even, you're bypassing it, you're just breathing right into your heart. And breathing out. Now your next breath, breathe in from behind into your heart, right through your back. And then out the back. Let's try each side that way too. From the right side, breathing in. And back out the right. And now the left. In from the left. And out to the left. It's just to give us an experience of breathing basically at 360 degrees, and you don't have to always go in and out the same side. You can go in from the front and out through the back. And as you're breathing in, you're breathing in energy, you're breathing in love and the prana from source. As you're breathing out, I want you to consciously, gently connect your heart with others that have joined this meditation either live or in the recording. Now, you can connect through me if you want, as if I'm the hub of a wheel, and you're the tendrils of love that you're exhaling, are the spokes of the wheel, and they come through me and then get distributed to the other meditators. Or you can just go all quantum and intuitive, and as you exhale, let the energy flow outwards, and intuitively let the universe guide them to the other meditators. So let's just do that for a bit. Inhale, love and energy from source. And exhale, either through me or just out in general, the tendrils of energy and love connecting with the other meditators here today and watching whenever. And as we do this exercise, either we're creating the grid or we're becoming conscious of the grid. I guess the grid is already there between us, but now we're aware of it. Now we're conscious of it. Now we have some sense of feeling it. Now this is the basic human heart grid we're trying to experience here. Melanie, in her 519 event, spoke of healing via this heart grid. How when we heal our own hearts, we have the energy to overflow and heal others. Okay? So first heal yourself. First bring in that power, that energy, that love from Source. Heal your own heart, and it becomes such that you just overflow naturally. And heal others, either contributing to that grid or other people in your household. You know how I always talk about the other people in your household benefiting from your meditation, and especially from these group meditations. When we receive healing light into our hearts, I'm still quoting Melanie Beckler here, directly from Source, we can flow it forth to all who can benefit. Okay. Now, after the meditation, this was like a webinar. So I asked a clarifying question on this topic of the human heart grid. And Metatron, Archangel Metatron, who always seems to be the one that pops in to answer my questions, my pesky questions, he came through with further details. He said, connecting with the human heart crystalline grid. Okay, this is I don't know if I said crystalline earlier, but that's what Melanie was talking about, was a crystalline grid. And so I wanted to distinguish, is it crystalline, is it not crystalline, what's the deal with that? And he said, the connecting with the human heart crystalline grid is the new frontier and the new paradigm. Okay, I'm always trying to remember these are metaphysical energy updates. I'm trying to bring us up to date with what's going on now. Well, human heart grid, the human heart crystalline grid is the new, according to Archangel Metatron, is the new frontier and the new paradigm. So there's the human heart grid, a grid made up of awakened hearts, and that, I believe, is what we just experienced. I would say that the group watching this now or later, just call it now in quantum time, we're all here now. We are made up of awakened hearts, and so we experience the human heart grid in the exercise we just did and will continue to do throughout the meditation. And then there's the crystalline grid, which is a higher dimensional grid connecting all points of Mother Gaia. Now, in previous, like most of our meditations this year, we have been experiencing, certainly trying to experience, the Gaia, Mother Gaia crystalline grid. We've been intentionally tapping into that, often by locking our feet to it and flowing energy in and out of it. Okay, so now we're up to 2. The human heart grid, connecting awakened hearts like we exercised in a minute ago. The crystalline grid of Gaia that we've been connecting with in our previous meditations. And all these meditations are available under the videos tab if you want to go back to them. And then the new one here is the human heart crystalline grid. Okay, Metatron says that for the awakened hearts truly on the path of mastery and coming into alignment and coherence with the highest levels and geometries of crystalline perfection, we are now able to connect together as the human heart crystalline grid. Now, I have a note here. Metatron does not tend to keep things simple, but every word leads us toward the highest understanding. So let's settle back into our hearts, and I will slowly repeat his answer to what's the crystalline heart, human heart crystalline grid. Okay. The human heart crystalline grid is for the awakened hearts, that's us, truly on the path of mastery and coming into alignment and coherence with the highest levels and geometries of crystalline perfection. We are now able to connect together as the human heart crystalline grid. And this just takes everything up a notch, you know. As good as it felt when we just did the human heart grid, now as we continue to meditate today, we're going to be trying to do so as a human heart crystalline grid. And if you want a little additional help with that, just remember what we've been doing. Lock your feet down onto the Mother Gaia's crystalline grid. Bring energy up into your body, and you can use that as part of the human heart crystalline grid. You see? Use that, and then as we're connecting, we will naturally be flowing energy back in to Gaia's crystalline grid. So there's no leeching involved. It's not a zero-sum game, which we're just going to keep contributing and benefiting from it. Okay? So let's stay in this heart space, accepting love and light from Source, and gently and intuitively connecting with others here and elsewhere as we enjoy this music and each other's company and feel that crystalline heart grid. Okay. And then we'll talk a little bit more afterwards. Remember to breathe in 360 degrees, whatever feels good from your front. Exhale, breathe in through your back, your sides. And as you exhale, feel your love spreading out as tendrils, connecting us all together. Tap into Mother Gaia's crystalline grid if you'd like to enhance the experience and connect with each other as the human heart crystalline grid. want to start with taking a little deeper breath, as we often switch to shallow breathing during a peaceful meditation. See if you still feel those tendrils, that human heart crystalline grid connecting us all. Remember how this feels, because if you feel it now, you can always feel it again just by remembering it, pausing and breathing and reconnecting. I'm not feeling too chatty. Now, as we approach what Melanie is calling, and others no doubt will be also, the June solstice, she's calling it she's hearing it as the solstice gateway of light. We haven't been talking too much about gateways this year. That was a lot more last year. Sandra Walters talked about this recently, about how it was gateway this, gateway that last year, but now this year, like, everything's open. There's no specific gateways to address. But apparently we're going to call this the solstice gateway of light on June 21st. So as we approach that, we talked about this last time, knowing dates ahead of time, knowing events ahead of time allows us to prepare for them. So we're not dealing with them at the time or afterward, but we actually get to prepare, to open ourselves up, to be ready to accept even more energy from them. So as we approach the solstice gateway of light, I'm going to recommend preparing appropriately with a daily meditation for these next 3 weeks. Or perhaps, if you felt this was a decent meditation, repeat this one a week from today, another week from then. Do it a couple of times in the next 3 weeks as a way of reconnecting to these feelings, to this energy. Because that energy that started with the new moon, peaking on the 19th, is now springboarding on this full moon, all leading up to this, I have to keep looking, solstice gateway of light on June 21st. So, I know I will be doing what I just suggested. I'm going to repeat, well, for me, I'll be listening for the first time around a week from now. Maybe next Tuesday, maybe next Wednesday, I'll listen to this. And then the following week, I'll listen to it again. And then the week after that will be the actual solstice meditation. So, I hope you all enjoyed this experience and that you take it with you both throughout the day and the week, but also keep repeating or keep revisiting it in this or other meditations. Remember the feeling of breathing in from all different sides, breathing in and out, and connecting to other meditators in a group situation, or other members of our group, or anybody else. You can just throw it out there and let the universe make that connection for you. Just intuitively send out these tendrils of love and energy, and you'll either be connecting as a human heart grid or human heart crystalline grid. And I think I can't imagine we're not going to revisit this human heart crystalline grid on I'm going to have to look at it again, Solstice Gateway of Light on June 21st. So lots about crystalline light this year. Lots about crystalline light. That seems to be the theme. We're already up to the end of May, and we keep over and over again. It keeps coming. I'm reading some of your comments as they scroll by, but for the most part I'll wait and look at them when we finish the video, and I'll look at that and I'll respond as needed, as wanted. Okay. Okay, so a reminder, whether or not you went back to January 1st, I know probably I would say by the black moon in the middle of February, we were starting to talk about these things and the crystalline grid and the metaphysical energy updates. And so if you wanted to repeat even just the last new moon one, you'd be brought up to date. For those who didn't attend that one or don't remember it well, you'd be brought up to date on some of the things I referred to today. And, I'm weird enough that I would work my way backwards. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But if you wanted to experience it the way the regular attendees did, I would say you could start with the January 1st, but I would say at least the black moon in February, the February 15th, I think it was, meditation would get you doing them in that order from there on. Would get you the build-up of the topics we've been discussing and building on in each one. That's my guess. Okay. Thank you very much for attending now or whenever, and because it's now for you whenever you are here. And namaste. With all my love, always. See you in the group.